There is something nobody tells you about the people who suddenly go quiet. The ones who were warm yesterday and distant today. The ones who used to text back instantly and now leave you on read. The ones who looked at you like you mattered. And then, without warning, pulled back like they never did. Most people spend days, sometimes weeks, trying to figure out what they did wrong. They replay every conversation. They analyze every word. They wonder if they said too much or not enough. But here is the truth that changes everything. In most cases, it has almost nothing to do with you. And the moment you understand what is really happening inside the mind of someone who pulls away, you will never panic over distance again. You know the feeling. Everything seems fine, maybe even great. There is warmth, connection, momentum, and then nothing. A shift so subtle at first that you almost miss it. The replies get shorter. The energy changes. The presence fades. And suddenly you are standing in the middle of something that felt real, wondering if you imagined all of it. You start asking questions that spiral. Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? Did I push too hard? Should I reach out? Or will that make it worse? And the worst part is the silence itself, because silence leaves the mind with no facts, only fear. And the human mind, when it has no answers, will always manufacture the darkest ones. But what if the pulling away had nothing to do with your worth? What if it was never about what you said, but about what they were feeling? Observe. Understand. Don't react. That is what this is about today. And by the end of this, our distance will never read the same way to you again. Psychology shows us something fascinating about human withdrawal. When people pull away, it is almost never random. There is always a pattern beneath it, a hidden emotional language that most people never learn to read. The human mind reacts to emotional intensity the same way the body reacts to physical heat. When something gets too close, too real, too fast, too meaningful, a subconscious alarm goes off. Not because the connection is bad, but because the connection is significant, and significant things are dangerous to the human psyche, because significant things can be lost. Think about that for a moment. The deeper someone begins to feel something, the more their subconscious starts calculating the risk of losing it. And for certain types of people, certain emotional architectures shaped by years of experience, the automatic response to that risk is not to move closer. It is to create distance, not out of cruelty, not out of games, but out of self-protection. What most people don't realize is that pulling away is often a sign of emotional depth, not emotional absence. Let's go deeper. Because there are specific reasons, psychological, emotional, deeply human, why people withdraw, and each one tells a completely different story. Here is something that sounds paradoxical until you understand human psychology. Sometimes people pull away because they feel too much, not too little, too much. I once knew a man, sharp, successful, emotionally guarded in ways he himself didn't fully understand. He met someone, and for the first time in years, something cracked open inside him. Within 3 weeks, he had gone completely silent. She thought she had done something wrong. She hadn't. What happened was that the intensity of what he felt triggered every protective wall he had built since the last time he let someone in and got hurt. His pulling away wasn't rejection. It was fear wearing the mask of indifference. Psychology calls this emotional flooding, when the nervous system becomes overwhelmed by the weight of feeling. And the automatic response for people who have learned that feelings lead to pain? Retreat, silence, distance. The human mind reacts this way because at its core, deep connection carries deep risk, and not everyone has been taught that the risk is worth it. Observe. Understand. Don't react. This one is important and deeply underestimated. When someone pulls away, most people immediately make it about the relationship. But sometimes, often, it has nothing to do with the relationship at all. There is a hidden reason behind this. People carry entire worlds inside them that nobody sees. Financial stress that keeps them awake at 3 a.m. Family situations that drain every emotional resource they have. Internal battles with identity, purpose, fear, failure, and when those internal storms get heavy enough, human beings instinctively compress. They go inward. Not because they don't care about you, but because they don't have anything left to give, and something ancient in them would rather disappear than let you see them fall apart. Think about someone you know who has always been the strong one, the composed one, the one who holds it together. Now imagine that person hitting a wall privately. Would they reach out, or would they go quiet? For most people shaped by pride, independence, or past wounds around vulnerability, they go quiet. Their silence isn't about you. It is the sound of someone fighting something you can't see. Now this one is subtle, and it operates mostly below conscious awareness. There is a deep psychological pattern in people who have been abandoned or let down repeatedly in their past. When something starts to feel real and meaningful, they unconsciously create distance to see what you do with it. Not as a game, not deliberately, but as an emotional reflex. A subconscious question running beneath every interaction. Will you stay when I'm not performing? Will you reach out when I pull back? Or will you disappear, like everyone else did? A woman once told me about a relationship that confused her for months. Every time things felt close and connected, he would pull back. And every time she stayed calm, gave him space, and remained warm without becoming desperate, he would return. Closer than before. It wasn't manipulation. It was a wounded part of him running a survival test, checking if this was safe, checking if she would still be there, checking if closeness really meant abandonment, the way it always had before. What most people don't realize is that how you respond to someone's distance tells them more about your emotional depth than anything you say when they're present. Observe. Understand. Don't react. This is the one people rarely talk about, and it might be the most psychologically profound reason of all. And there are people walking through life wearing a version of themselves, a curated self, a safe self, the self they have decided the world is allowed to see. And then someone comes along, maybe you, and without even trying, you see through it. You ask the right question. You notice the right thing. You reflect back something true about them that they have never let anyone see. And instead of feeling grateful, they flee. Because being truly seen is one of the most terrifying experiences a human being can have. Most people have never been seen without consequence. They have been seen and then judged, seen and then left, seen and then used. So when someone comes close enough to see the real thing, the subconscious pulls the emergency brake. The distance isn't coldness. It's the most honest thing they've shown you yet, and it means you touched something real. Psychology shows that the depth of someone's withdrawal is often directly proportional to the depth of what they felt. The more they pull back, sometimes the more you actually mattered. This is where psychology gives us the clearest map. Attachment theory tells us that people develop emotional blueprints in early life, and one of the most common blueprints, far more common than most people realize, is avoidant attachment. People with avoidant attachment styles have one deeply programmed belief. Closeness is dangerous, not because they are broken, but because early in life getting close, needing someone, led to disappointment, rejection, or emotional unavailability. So they learn to be self-sufficient, fiercely independent, allergic to need. And here is what happens when an avoidant person starts to feel genuine closeness. Their nervous system doesn't say, "This is wonderful." It says, "This is a threat." And they do the only thing their emotional wiring knows how to do. They create space. They go silent. They become busy. They find reasons to focus on everything except the connection. Imagine a man who has been self-sufficient his entire life, never asked for help, never leaned on anyone. He meets someone who makes him want to, and that desire, that unfamiliar, dangerous desire to need someone, sends him running. Not because he doesn't feel it, because he feels it too much, and he has never learned that it is safe. Observe, understand, don't react. Reason 6. The connection moved faster than their inner world could process. Speed matters in emotional psychology. Now, the human heart and the human mind do not always move at the same pace. Sometimes a connection builds momentum faster than a person's internal world can integrate. And when the emotional experience outpaces a person's ability to process it, they stall. They need time, space, silence. Not to walk away from the connection, but to catch up to it. Think about it this way. Imagine downloading something enormous on a slow connection. The file is real. The desire to have it is real. But the system needs time to process it before it can open. Some people's emotional systems are like that. They feel deeply, but slowly. And what looks like withdrawal from the outside is actually internal work happening quietly. The mistake most people make is filling that silence with anxiety, reaching out compulsively, demanding answers, and interpreting the pause as rejection. And in doing so, they accidentally confirm the fear the other person was already carrying. This will be too much. This won't be safe. I knew I should have stayed distant. The most powerful thing you can do when someone retreats? Remain calm. Remain present. And give them the one thing their nervous system is begging for: space without punishment. This last reason is the one people almost never consider, and it might be the most quietly heartbreaking of all. Some people pull away because they genuinely believe, at the deepest level, that you are better off without their chaos, their unresolved wounds, their complicated circumstances, their darkness that they haven't yet made peace with. They see something good in you. And rather than risk contaminating it, rather than risk pulling you into their storm, they disappear. They tell themselves it is selfless. And in a way, it is. But it is also a lie they tell themselves so they don't have to face what they are really afraid of. Intimacy, vulnerability, being fully known. A woman once described a man who faded from her life exactly when things were getting real. Months later, he told her the truth. He said, "I didn't think I was enough. I didn't think I deserved what you were offering. So I removed myself before you could see it and leave first." He pulled away to survive the rejection he was certain was coming, even though she never intended to reject him at all. This is what unhealed wounds do. They write endings to stories that haven't happened yet. So what do you do with all of this? Now, how do you hold yourself when someone goes quiet and your mind wants to spiral? You remember this. Observe. Understand. Don't react. You observe the pattern without making it mean everything. You seek to understand what might be happening beneath the surface, in them, not just in you. And you choose not to react from fear, because the most powerful position you can hold in any relationship with anyone is emotional steadiness. Not coldness, not games, not manufactured distance, but genuine grounded calm. The kind that says, "I am not going to collapse because you are struggling. I am still here, and I am not afraid of your silence." That kind of energy is rare, and it is the only energy that genuinely safe people are ever truly drawn back by. Here is what I want you to walk away with today. And when someone pulls away from you, your first instinct will be to make it about your worth. Resist that instinct. Because the psychology of withdrawal is almost never about worth. It is about fear, about protection, about wounds that existed long before you arrived. The people who go silent in the face of something real are not weak. They are carrying something heavy that they haven't yet learned to put down. And your job, your only job, is not to chase them into their silence. Your job is to understand it, to hold yourself with enough dignity that your peace doesn't depend on their proximity, to know deeply and quietly that genuine connection never needs to be chased. Observe, understand, don't react. Because the truth always surfaces. People always reveal eventually whether the distance was fear or indifference. And when you know the difference, when you can read the hidden language of human behavior, you stop losing yourself in other people's retreats. You become the most stable presence in your own life. And that is where real power lives. Not in how much someone wants you, but in how little their distance can shake you. If something in this video touched something you have been carrying quietly, drop one word in the comments. Just one word that describes what you felt while watching this. Clarity, relief, peace, truth. Whatever it is, write it. Because sometimes naming what you feel is the first step to no longer being controlled by it. And if someone in your life has gone quiet lately, someone who left you wondering, share this with them. Not to send a message. But because sometimes the most healing thing we can offer another person is the gift of being understood.